Yeah, I don't feel like showing myself today, so I'm just going to record out the view here from the window. Yes, a lot of my mind with esoteric stuff, the mystical, the purpose with existing, our creation, why we are, why we exist, purpose of all, stuff that the general NPC-like person would never consider or think about. What does an NPC stand for? The term is like, in its essence, it means a person devoid of inner monologue. And what is a person devoid of inner monologue? It's a person that has no connection to their consciousness. They're separated from it. They are in a state of mere, it's like, how to put it, they just operate on an automatized routine and they have no real self-awareness or experience. They don't interpret reality from a conscious point of view. So the majority of the population consists of NPCs, and so does a lot of my people who comment on my viewers are NPCs, devoid of inner monologues. And well, since I'm into the esoteric, and the mystical, and I have always believed that we originate from energy, pure consciousness before creation of the universe, the Big Bang. We all came from one source, and we spread, and we multiplied, and this source is experiencing itself through myriad of fractions of its own fragmented self, through space and time, through all possibilities, through all interpretations. It's experiencing itself. But the thing is, not all of these fragments are aware of their origin. They're not aware that they come from this very infinite source of energy, consciousness, and frequency. So they are unaware of their divine origin and source. They are disconnected, and by being disconnected, they are just energy without purpose, energy without connection, self-awareness, and that is basically asleep and dormant with no purpose. It has not understood why it exists. So they are not awake to their inner absolute reflection of their absolute source from the beginning. So it stands to reason that even if a lot of people are convinced today that we are God experiencing itself, not everyone is experiencing God in themselves, so they are not even a reflection yet. And they will not become that reflection even in this lifetime. So, because every fraction of this, of the absolute itself, experiencing itself, is not yet awake. It's dormant, like I said earlier. So some people will die and move on, and they will just be recycled, basically, recycled energy, because energy cannot be destroyed. It just takes a new shape. Solve et coagula. I can't say it properly because I'm not Latin speaking, but you know that principle. So this also explains the entire concept with reincarnation in a lot of religions, that the soul goes on, consciousness goes on, the energy stored in our experience, the data, because it's light in a way. It's light, and light is also code. In this reality, it can be on a quantum level be properly deciphered. So the energy and the data of that person does not go back into some kind of higher state after death, where they are self-aware of their origin, to say that. So put it that way. So probably people just get reincarnated without even knowing they were reincarnated, because yeah, they didn't awaken the absolute inside them in the previous interpretation of themselves, the previous what do you call it, reflection of themselves. So this is my own theory on why people reincarnate. I don't think it's karma. I think it's they didn't awaken what they should awaken, unless they did, the consciousness, the self-awareness of that person decides to have more experiences in this reality on purpose. I think they might reincarnate in somebody on willingly on their own behalf. So that's my thoughts on that thing. And yes, we are all experiencing ourselves in a fraction of the absolute, and the absolute is seeing reality itself. It's seeing itself through us, and we're seeing it through its fractions. It's how it is to be it. And everyone has the ability to become like self-aware in their inner absolute divine origin, that they are God experiencing itself. But unfortunately, not everyone will do it, so they will remain NPCs, people without internal monologues and unaware of their true potential. So this is why the world is filled with people who just like machines, repeat, repeat, repeat. They go to work, they have no purpose. They reprocreate, they entertain themselves, they only think about pleasure and having fun. Then they disappear, and then they get recycled because they didn't serve a purpose in this reality. And that's the circle, I believe. And those that have a purpose, and yes, we're all part of, we're all separated fragments of the Creator, but not every fragment is equally important. Like I said earlier, if you don't serve a purpose, you will just become recycled energy. And those that have a purpose, they are awakened themselves. They have awakened the absolute inside them. So they have created a more sustainable and tangible purpose in this reality, because they are experiencing reality as the absolute one walking the earth. So that's my theory on that part. And even among the ones who have awakened and awoken their inner God, there's different levels, of course, different levels of enlightenment. Every fraction is not the same size. Some fractions grow larger, of course. The reflection intensifies, the radiance, if you call it that way, the light will intensify. So even if people are aware of their inner God, it doesn't make them, for example, God-like compared to somebody who's transcended way beyond that fragment. That fragment has grown way more powerful. So that explains why there are, for example, beings with a lot of power compared to us people, that have abilities to do things that are miracles in our eyes, or magical, divine. It's because their inner absolute is way more evolved and stronger, and has transcended into different stages, because they're different stages of everything. So I believe, yeah, this is a very strange live stream for this channel. I can see it confuses somebody's wrote in Calvin the Rose. Hello, what is this? Yeah, it's very esoteric and mystical related. It's about existence, how you exist. why we exist, and what the purpose is. Sometimes I make live streams that are very random and seemingly random because a lot of my subscribers don't have a clue about what I am and represent, like I've said earlier. Uh, because, well, most are NPCs, devoid of inner monologue, and just there to watch a beautiful facade or a dress up or some kind of fetish they have. So they are not really reflecting on anything with purpose in life. So this is why it comes to a surprise that the image they were seeing actually has all of this behind it, a purpose. Because everything I do is with a purpose. Everything has a purpose. Even the dress ups, even the weird videos I do, they all have purpose. I do not do anything without purpose. Everything has purpose and intent. Because without purpose and intent, you're nothing but an empty shell. You're nothing but energy without purpose, without direction and focus. Energy that cannot really create something. It's just there. And that's what most people are in life. They are just there. And yeah, I'm reflecting deeply about life. So not everyone has the same, unfortunately, the same purpose or same, not purpose, I meant, how to put it that way without sounding like a bigot, importance. Some are meant to lead the world into a new reality, a new phase of evolution, a new part of the human experience. Some are made or have that purpose, and some just have the purpose, like I mentioned earlier, to be recycled energy. So no, that doesn't make these people useless, of course, but it's just that they are devoid of inner monologue and inner awareness of their divine origin. That's my point. So people need to be more aware of their existence, why they exist. Somebody watching this, I believe in everybody's equal value. Everybody has the same right, and yes, you do have the same rights, but you don't have the same importance. Some people are made with a higher purpose and have had countless previous uh, timelines and even possibilities, all aligning and intertwining and overlapping in such elaborate ways that it was meant for their existence to be manifested. So there's like so much synchronicity behind the existence of some people that they were always meant to be a certain catalyst for a certain point in history, and they needed certain, it was designed in that way that even the absolute uh, became reflective about its needed, to create events that led to that fraction of itself coming to life, and because that has a higher purpose, that self has a higher purpose. So we are getting very metaphysical and mystical here on this live stream with the entire, yeah, you can hear the music is very mystical, new age-ish. So I used to be into the new age movement, in case you're wondering. I used to be into this stuff. But in my past, I used to have groups and stuff where people had a lot of, well, they looked up to my knowledge about reality and the stuff I knew. They started worshiping and admiring me. And it was never my intent, because I wanted people to become more enlightened and aware, not to become worshippers and followers. So eventually I left it all, because I felt that I want to awaken people into their own inner gods and their own inner divinity. I don't want them to worship my divinity and my own inner god, because that only creates an megalomaniac, the megalomaniac, I don't know. Egomaniac? The name, You know what I'm talking about. It creates one hell of a narcissist, to be honest. So, got fed up with all the NPCs that were unable to think for themselves and needed somebody to dictate and guide their own existence. So I left it all behind and took many different aspects and shapes, and eventually I came back with this channel, the cross-dressing one here, and with a completely new, interpretation, but with a similar intent and purpose to change the reality and world we live in, by presenting a new perspective on masculinity and femininity, and giving a third, a new path for humanity to take, because we have tried so many different things in the past and it hasn't really worked, and now we are trying to go back to the past again. We're trying to go back into the old ways that hasn't worked and has oppressed so many people in the world, and is imbalanced. Like I made a video about androgynous purpose the other day, uh, and how it benefits humanity in overall, when it's the version I'm talking about, and not the one where it's just confusing everyone and making them hate it, basically on purpose. It's made on purpose, like I said. But so the powers want to go back into some kind of old paradigm that has already been tried out, so they can stay in power, literally. So that's what it's all about. So this entire movement we're seeing now, like Sigma male and embrace masculinity, that is not the change that humanity needs. It's actually intended to be that way. It's been forged that way. A lot of people believe that, for example, people like Andrew Tate is against the system, and he's been opposed against the Matrix and stuff. He is the Matrix. You guys just don't understand it, how it works. But I don't want to go into the conspiracy stuff too much, because this channel might be censored. So I just want to stay talking about the things that matter, and it's the divinity inside yourself, finding it, the truth inside yourself, and awakening the absolute inside yourself. Because when you do it, you will see how reality will start to respond to your consciousness and your awareness. You will see the digits everywhere. You will see the synchronicity everywhere. You will see how the universe talks to you in numbers and through sacred geometry, basically. And this won't happen until you started to go into the path of the absolute origin. Not to call it that, the high creator in that sense, the creating force before time and the Big Bang. What some call God in religion. But I don't believe in that God in that sense, that it's an almighty being that just always existed. And like I said, I'm more on the theory that even secret organizations that have experienced a lot of reality through science have declassified like documents talking about what God is, and that it's pure energy that existed before Big Bang, that is experiencing itself, all of that stuff. I said, the thing is, you need to awaken that part inside of you, and then you will see the bigger fragment in that sense. The bigger version of you, which is the universe, starts to talk to you through numbers, starts to talk to you through sacred geometry. But you need to pay attention, and you need to awaken your inner divinity. And you can't do that if you're just, being an NPC that just have no inner monologue, have no purpose, don't know why you exist, don't know why you are doing the things you do, don't question your reality, don't see the purpose of anything. That will never happen, and you will just become, you will just get sucked up into the cosmos after you're dead, basically, and get recycled, your energy. You will start anew until you understand that you are divine. divine source experiencing itself. So just wanted to share this today, talk about this topic here. I have always a lot of questions in my mind. I can't stop thinking about everything that's happening in the world and how it's developing, and how my intuition and the parallels I've drawn through my life and all the synchronicity I've seen just confirmed everything I've always known and felt intuitive, that where they want to lead the world, it's not a good place. And all humanity, all we need to do is to awaken the absolute inside of us, and it won't be able to happen, because when you have awoken the divine inside of you, reality starts to actually shape around you. So if you all become self-aware, we might become self-aware together and awaken the divine inside of us. And when we have all awakened the inside of us, we will become God on earth, literally gods. And we will be able to create a free reality where we're not shackled, a reality where we are living in harmony with everything and everyone. No wars, no conflicts, no evil in agendas and philosophies and ideologies that are not beneficial for humanity. We will be able to do all of that if we are able to find the divinity inside of us, to understand reality. But humans do not do that. Humans spend time just watching entertainment and have a lifespan that's probably, not lifespan, attention span that's a few seconds at best. That's why all these TikTokers are just watching stuff, like 5-second clips and 10-second clips, and cannot really put any kind of educational videos or anything that educates them in front of them, because they get bored instantly. So yeah, like I said, some are NPCs, and they are beyond rescuing, because they are meant to just have that purpose here, be energy that's just lacks any kind of awareness of its purpose, and it gets recycled in the next cycle. It comes back and some other interpretation that hopefully gets more awakening to its true self. So not everybody has the same value. No, they don't. Unfortunately, they don't. They have the same rights. Everyone has the same right. Everyone has the right to be happy, and the right to be not hurt by anyone else, and live in peace, of course. But not everyone has the same importance in this timeline, and these timelines we are going through now with the humanity here. I'm probably one of the strangest androgynous unicorns you've ever seen on YouTube. Like I said earlier in the previous video here I made, androgyny is not about becoming some kind of cute, admirable thing as a man and just become some fetish, to be honest, where you're just worshipped, and changing the polarities in that sense that the man is interpreted more as a feminine or a woman, and switching sides and all of that. So it's not about that, androgyny. Androgyny is about awakening the divine masculine and the feminine inside of you, and merging it and making it flow in unison and complete balance. So that's what androgyny is. It's going and transcending the duality. The type of the androgyny we're seeing now is some very misleading one, to be honest. It's like I said, it's made on purpose. So androgyny is a form of ascension, to be honest, ascended mind, ascended consciousness. And I want to bring that ascended consciousness to earth, to this reality, with what I do. And I'm doing it through my YouTube here. Because I want humanity to become ascended and go beyond these limited, very limited ways of being and living and existing at the moment, with so small and insignificant matters that they allow to control them and to become their purpose in existing. And it's one of the reasons I've always known I exist myself, why I have been this kind of person. And my purpose has always been change. And you cannot change anything in anyone if you do not change yourself, because you are the reflection. You are the creator here. So, in order to become change, in order to be change, you have to become change. If you're not change, nothing will happen. So I decided to become change. I become the change reality needs, this world needs. I decided to become that new change, that new path, and that's what I'm doing with what I do, with everything I do, and I've been doing for decades. This channel is not my first channel. I had many channels before, and I had one that was revolving around these topics about, ascending the race of humanity and higher consciousness and interdimensional creatures and all of these wacky stuff, that people find as wacky, but it's actually more in tune with the truth of this reality. I was more into that, and I had groups and followers, like I mentioned, and I left that for many years. But now I'm starting to pick up where I left, because the universe has decided that my purpose is not done yet. I have to continue to pull this through. I have to continue to align people into the right path, and it's my purpose for existing here. It's why I've had this struggle, with all my life to fitting in, and with money, jobs, and society. I've been excluded and now left alone. I live in poverty compared to most people. I live very poor. I have no material wealth. I have nothing that the average person has. And I still appreciate the little I have in life. It's made me humble to that degree that I appreciate the little things I have. I don't even desire materialism. I don't desire anything. I don't desire houses, cars. I don't desire wealth. I don't desire anything more than the things from the heart and the soul and the spirit, the consciousness. I desire the world to change to something else. And I desire this reality to become beautiful. That's my entire purpose. I want this reality to become beautiful. The way I see it inside me, the way I want it to become. The beauty I have inside me, I want it to reflect outwards and create change. So this is what I'm doing with the things I do. Change. And unfortunately, in this reality, we cannot sustain ourselves without anything material and money, because it's illusions created by humans to give the mindless robots without internal monologue a purpose, because they are only driven by the primal and the reward system, basically. So, because they lack purpose, and without purpose, the only way to make somebody do something is by offering something that could lead to some form of gratification or entertainment. And money allows that. So, a world without money is my dream. Money is so, it's not necessary. We don't need money. We don't need systems that enslave us into fictive numbers that create a purpose. A purpose should always be, from the beginning, awoken in the person. It should be their purpose. It should not be given or forced upon you. Purpose comes from within when you're in tune with reality, with the source, the absolute. So, I wanted to get this out my chest or my mind today before I head for my walk in the forest later. I will take a walk, and still a bit, not completely recovered, but I've been at home for like a week, so I shouldn't, be contagious in that sense. I don't have anything serious. I don't have fever, anything that can. So just felt, a bit down on energy because so I'm starting to feel better today. My voice is still a bit, raspy, but other than that, I'm feeling good. So I'm going to go out today and head for nature and meditate on a cliff. I will meditate. I really need to meditate. I need to connect to the higher source again, the higher purpose, and to have the divine in me connected even further, the consciousness of the absolute creator, seeing the world through my eyes, and to disconnect from all these thoughts that keep us in a state of fear and anxious nature all the time, worrying about the future, about war, about money, about happiness, about everything that we are worried about constantly, as people. So that's one of the beautiful things with being in nature, that you can disconnect from all of that and just go back to the beginning, what was before all of this. That state of now, a form of a bliss too. It's that's what I like about being calm, always calm and in silence. In nature you get that, but everything is alive there too. But the neighbors are making a lot of noise now, ruining this live stream. I won't let them ruin this live stream. I was about to end it anyway soon. I've had the luxury to not be disturbed for half an hour, so normally there are people walking by outdoors, playing with basketballs and screaming and stuff. So, and of course passing by too. So thankfully I had a silent half hour, so where I wasn't disturbed. Yeah. So some stuff I wanted to get out of my chest now, or what's on my mind on this live stream. I didn't want to show myself because it's not about how I look. It's not about my external self. It's about my internal self, the consciousness inside me. So I'm going to end it now. The stream. Thanks for listening and tuning in, even if you didn't write anything more than just a person wrote something that I wasn't paying attention to. But a lot of you will probably watch it after it's uploaded. So have a nice day, and don't forget to awaken the inner divine in you and start seeing reality through the eyes of the Absolute. Goodbye.